Would you like to know like everything coming to multiplayer at launch for Black Ops 6? Well, I got you covered. This is going to be a long video because Activision basically gave us everything that is coming to multiplayer at launch for Black Ops 6 in 2 separate blog posts. Here they are. This is the first one. This one is going to go over weapons, primaries, secondaries, melee weapons, attachments, everything along those lines. And then the second one is going to go over all the perks, score streaks, field upgrades, everything like that. I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible, but I also want to give you all of the information possible. So let's just start by scrolling through, and hopefully you guys enjoy these type of videos. And if you do, please hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. So primary weapons, we have a total of 25 total primary weapons, 7 assault rifles, 6 SMGs, 2 shotguns, the 3 LMGs, 4 marksman rifles, and 3 sniper rifles. We are going to get to see literally all of these, so let's just move on. 6 secondary weapons, 2 melee weapons, and again, we are going to get to see all of these. Now, the way that you unlock everything within Black Ops 6 is via player level. So everything relies on you getting XP and unlocking things via your level. So for example, below here, you get to see a progression screen. So for this, you go into your barracks, and then you go into your leveling criteria or level unlocks, as you're seeing here. And there's going to be 2 menus there. There's going to be a prestige menu and then level unlocks. So as you can see, at level 50, you unlock your AS Val, which is an assault rifle. And as you can see, this is for Black Ops 6, multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone, for all 3 of them. So if you prestige, that is going to be relocked, and then you have to use your unlock token to unlock something at a higher level. And as you can see, there are zombies things in there as well. So everything is based off of your player level. Now, there's a list here of all of the weapons, but don't worry, I am just going to go ahead and show you all of the weapons. So the first one that we have here, it's unlocked immediately, is the XM4. This is a fully automatic assault rifle, pretty straightforward. Then we have the AK-74. We know what this one is. It's unlocked at level 10. Then we have the Amy's 85. This one was also in the beta, unlocked at level 19. A new one that we have here is the GPR-91, unlocked at level 28. This is a full auto assault rifle. What it lacks in raw power, it makes up in spades in best-in-class handling with a decent fire rate. So this will be the easiest assault rifle to use, but will not have the best time to kill. Then we have the Model L, which kind of reminds me of the Galil, which I'm looking forward to. It is a slow-firing, high damage weapon. I was asking for a gun like this. We got one. Then we have the Goblin MK2. This one is a semi-auto assault rifle. Excels at short and mid ranges. So that's kind of an interesting one, but it has an impressive fire rate. I'm very curious to see what this one is all about. Then we have the AS Val. This one you get 5 magazines with, but only a magazine size of 20, so you're probably going to want extended mags on this one. Leads in the way in stealth because I believe it has a built-in suppressor and improved mobility on this one. I think a lot of people are going to like the AS Val. SMG wise, we have the C9. This one was in the beta. The KSV, this one looks interesting. As far as this one, it has fast aim and manageable recoil with good damage. We have the Tonto 22. We know this one. I believe this one was called the Milano before. As well as we have the PP919. We know what this type of weapon is. We only get 2 magazines with this one, but 64 rounds per magazine, which is kind of interesting. Then we have the Jackal. We all know that one from the beta. Then we have the Compact 92. This is an interesting looking one, chambered in 9mm, the fastest fire rate in class. This very well may be a good one. Shotguns, we have the Marine SP. We know what this one is all about, as well as the ASG-89. This one is a semi-automatic shotgun. This one will be interesting. LMGs, we have the 3, the PU-21. I think this one might actually have a different name as well. 3 mags of 75, lightweight, easy to aim with high damage. We have the XMG. This one was in the beta, as well as the GPMG-7. This one is unparalleled ability to quickly neutralize threats thanks to a blistering fire rate. So super fast fire rate LMG. Those are always fun. Marksman rifle, we have the SWAT 556. That one was in the beta. It was a burst DMR. We have the Tsarkov 762 unlocked at level 22. It sacrifices only some power in exchange for excellent handling. It's a semi-automatic DMR. They have the AEK 973. This is another 3-round burst, which is always good to see. These ones generally are hard to balance, so we'll see how good this one is. As well as the DM10, which was the semi-automatic DMR that was in the beta. Sniper rifles, we have the Frostline. This one's unlocked immediately. I think a lot of people are really going to like this one. You probably recognize this one. And we have the SVD and the LR762. So a couple good options for sniper rifles right out of the gate. Then we have our pistols, our 9mm PM. We have the Greykova, don't know if I'm saying that right. The GS45, the Strider 22, and then finally we have our launchers with the Sigma 2B. I'm just going to stick with that name, as well as the HE1. Pretty interesting looking launchers. And then our two melee weapons. We have the knife here, as well as the baseball bat. So then we get into loadouts. So we've all seen these. We've all played the beta. We all know what these look like. So first of all, we have our zombies loadouts over here, where if you didn't see the zombies thing yesterday, you have your field upgrade, lethal, tactical, melee weapon. Each class has its own melee weapon, and then the gobble gums. Whereas in multiplayer, you have essentially the same thing, but you also get a secondary weapon, 3 perks, your wild card, and potentially a specialist ability, which we will talk about a little bit more in the future. The content unlocks, they are going to go into a little bit more depth when we get the progression blog, which currently isn't out. I would expect it probably Monday. But as you can see, you can go to barracks, progression, and then level unlocks, as we talked about before, and it's going to show you where all of these various different things are unlocked and where they are. But as you can see, some of these are in Warzone. So like features, for example, I don't know what that is. Operators for all of them. Ammo mods, that's only for zombies. You can see what these various different things are. We've already talked about firing range. Firing range is going to be built into the game. We talked about that in the previous videos. Then we have global weapon builds. So these are important. Global weapon builds are carried across all modes. So you can make one weapon and then use it in zombies and multiplayer. And I believe that this will work in Warzone eventually once it's integrated with Season 1. But as far as these go, when you pick up a weapon in zombies, like if you get it from a mystery box or something like that, your build for your weapon will be in zombies. And then you can save it for multiplayer as well. So as you can see, the build demo for the Amy's 85. Also, getting our first look at a camo there, which is pretty cool. Then we get into gunsmith and attachments intel. So I'm not going to read through all of this, but almost all optic attachments are shared across all weapons, which is good. For example, unlock the red dot sight with an SMG and you'll be able to equip it to all SMGs in the same weapon class. Everything else is unique per weapon except for optics. We also have specifics. So first of all, we have attachment types. You should know this if you played Call of Duty, but we have optic, muzzle, barrel, underbarrel, magazine, rear grip, stock, laser, and finally firing mods. Now, there's a whole chart here where it shows you which weapons have which. I'm not going to read through all of this, but some things are pretty obvious. Like melee weapons are not going to have optics. In fact, they don't have anything. Launchers have essentially nothing. Pistols don't have a comb or an underbarrel. You can kind of see the difference there in which classes have, or sorry, which types of weapons have what. As we go through attachments here, they're not going to list out all of the attachments, but it gives you kind of like an example of how this is going to work. It also shows us what the statistics screen is going to look like in game. So getting a closer look at this one, it gives you the fire rate, and based off of the attachments that you have on your weapon, it shows you how much better it is getting in certain things. It also shows us what the damage looks like across the entire body. So the headshots, they have adjusted because clearly with the XM4, headshots are dealing more damage. Also, it shows you what damage ranges are and what you deal to the rest of the body. So for example, with this XM4, we have 28 damage to the head, but the rest of the entire body is 22 damage. It also shows you what is getting better. So as you can see with what the attachments that we have on here, the accuracy is getting better, but essentially everything else on the weapon is getting worse. But this is a great look and will definitely help you build out some classes in game moving forward. We also get like a closer look at what various optics are going to be here. I'm not gonna like go too in depth with this, but essentially it tells you like where it's not available. So for example, muzzles not available on launchers and melee weapons. The stat benefit is generally accuracy, usually attached to the end of a description there. So like with optics, it's going to be obviously for accuracy as well. With barrels, it's firepower. With underbarrels, it is firepower and accuracy. With magazines, it's firepower and handling. So you can kind of see just like the generalization of what these things are. It also gives you some examples of what these various attachments will look like. If you played Call of Duty in like the last while, you would know these. We also have firing mods. So these are some ones that you may be interested in. We have various different types of rapid fire. You can see 2 different ones here. We have recoil springs, which changes the amount of recoil. But as you can see, they look different on different weapons. But yeah, then we have the stocks, and that pretty much brings this one to an end. But oh boy, we are not done. In fact, we are just getting started. So this is where we move more so into the loadouts and what is offered there. So we've been through all the weapons, we've been through all of the types of attachments. Now we next move into our loadouts. Now I'm not going to go too in depth with like all of this stuff, because this isn't going to go into more depth until we get the progression blog, which is not currently out. Whenever that is out, I will have a video on the channel. Don't worry. Also, we see Franklin Woods here. I don't know why I called him Franklin, but progression. Unlock loadouts. So we get our various loadouts at level 1, 2, 3, and then custom loadouts at level 4. I don't even know why they have that in there. Then we have our tacticals. Is it going to show us them all? Okay, yeah. So our tacticals include concussion, flashbang, spy cam, which is somehow, I think as we're seeing here, flashbangs are not in zombies because they're not red. I don't know if that's true, but spy cam, and then smoke. We also have proximity alarm, which is interesting. Stim shot, which are super powerful now. Decoy and shock charge. We know what all of these do. I do not need to go through all of these. The one I do want to say though is combat stim that heals wounds and refreshes your tactical sprint. That one is now recharging by default without a perk. So that one's pretty interesting. Then we have our lethals. So lethals, we have a frag, sticky, C4, thermo grenade, and impact grenade, as well as Molotov, blast trap, drill charge, and combat axe. We then move into field upgrades, which include the assault pack. We know what that does. Spring mine and trophy system. Followed up by Scrambler, Signal Lure, which that one I'm not sure. We're going to go over that, as well as War Cry and Tactical Insertion. We know what those do. So let's go over Signal Lure. Signal Lure, that's hard to say. Reveal your position to enemies, but earn bonus score for kills and for surviving. So basically, you show enemies where you are, and the kills that you get give you more score, as well as surviving that period of time gives you more score. An interesting one. War Cry, rally your teammate, improving nearby allies' movement speed and health regen speed for a duration of time. So that one's interesting as well. So those two are definitely new. We also have acoustic amp, so that makes things louder. Morphine injector, we will come back to that one. Neurogas, we know that. And sleeper agent, we know that. So morphine injector, that one for duration, fatal damage puts you into a last stand state. Teammates can revive you or get a kill to get a self revive. So I don't know how long that is going to last, but that is a way of introducing last stand to the game, which most of the time people don't love last stand. So then we get into perks, and it is revealed here that even at launch, there is only going to be 3 combat specialties. But we have our list of perk 1s, perk 2s, and perk 3s, and I think these are mostly similar to what we have seen in multiplayer, or sorry, in the multiplayer beta. So you can see where you unlock these at various different levels, but we're going to go through each one. So perk 1, our red perks include Gung Ho, Dexterity, Scavenger, Assassin, Double Time, and Bankroll. I think we know what every single one of those does from the beta, but of course I will have things linked down below if you want me to read through all of them. Then we have the recon perks, Ghost, Ninja, Engineer, Tracker, Forward Intel, Vigilance, and Cold-Blooded. We know what all of these do as well as, of course, your combat specialty as well. Then we have our strategist, which is Flak Jacket, Taskmaster, Dispatcher, Fast Hands, Quartermaster, Guardian, and Gearhead, which I believe we know what all of those do as well. So then we have our big ones, our combat specialties, everything along those lines. But then we get our wild cards. So these are the ones I wanted to kind of take a closer look at. So we have Tactical Expert, Overkill, Gunfighter, Perk Greed, Prepper, and Danger Close. So Tactical Expert, you spawn in with 2 extra tacticals. So I guess that would be 3 total. Overkill, equip any non-melee weapon in your primary or secondary slot. So you get 2 weapons. We know what that does. Gunfighter, get 3 extra attachments. Danger Close, spawn in with an extra lethal. Prepper, equip 2 different field upgrades. That one's kind of cool. And finally, Perk Greed, equip an extra perk. So to me, Perk Greed as well as Gunfighter are going to be by far the strongest few there. Next up, the one I'm most excited for because it was the thing I think was weakest within the beta, that is Scorestreaks. So first off here, we have 18 Scorestreaks. You can see here the various levels that they're unlocked, but let's take a closer look. So we have Scout Pulse, we have the RCXD, we have the SAM turret, and we have the UAV. We know what those do, nothing fancy there. Then we have the Archangel Launcher, aka the Valkyrie rocket. I believe that was in Black Ops 1. We also have the Counter UAV, the Care Package, as well as the Napalm Strike. We know what all of those do as well. Then we have the LDBR. This is launch a missile bombardment in a targeted area for a duration. So I believe that's like a mortar strike style thing. We have the Sentry Gun, the Hellstorm, as well as the Watchdog Helo. Then after this, we have the AGR MK1. This is a remotely piloted quick assault tank armed with a machine gun. So I believe that is the Wally bot. So they kind of have these a little bit messed up in the pictures. The Interceptors, that one just takes out aerial score streaks, I believe. The Strategic Bomber, I believe, aka a stealth bomber, as well as the Harp, which is the advanced UAV, Chopper Gunner. And then we have the Dreadnought, which is a heavily modified gunship equipped with multiple cannons, rocket pods, and Daisy Cutter bomb. So essentially, that is the AC-130. So really nothing crazy when it comes to Scorestreaks. So honestly, a little disappointed with the Scorestreaks, and most of the stuff created class-wise, we already saw in the beta. I think that pretty much summarizes everything. I tried to get through that as quickly as possible. Took us right around 15 to 20 minutes. But yeah, that is everything coming at launch. All weapons, all perks, all field upgrades, all score streaks, everything coming at launch. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you're thinking. The progression and prestige blog post is what is coming next. So stay tuned for that. But for now, I hope you guys are excited. We're less than a week away. It is coming. So hit that like button, subscribe, notifications. Thank you guys for sticking through the video if you got this far. And until next time.
We are reaching for